the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
Look at the person next to you. Say, I love you and God loves you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. So lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together in the name of love. In every walk of life.
Every walk of life.
Every creed and color.
Every creed and color.
Kinship we unite.
Oh,
in honor of the God in each other. Oh, take a look at the person next to you. Say namaste and I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together.
we come together.
In the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
Aloha kakahiaka.
Aloha, e como mai.
We're so happy to see you here at Unity Church of Hawaii on this first Sunday in February. Thank you for joining us this morning. We'd now like to ask you to stand as you are able, and let's release and let go.
One, two, one.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Yeah, thank you, Zamar. Good morning, aloha kakahiaka. I'm Reverend Margie Hyatt. It is my joy to welcome us all as we gather together on Sunday morning to be in spiritual community with one another, heart to heart, centered in God. We elevate global consciousness through the realization of oneness. Unity, if you don't know where you've come on this Sunday morning, unity is a spiritual, educational, and healing movement that was founded more than 100 years ago on the healing experience through prayer of one of our co-founders, Myrtle Fillmore, who healed herself in connecting with God of what at that day and time was a death sentence, tuberculosis. It took her 2 years of consistent work, knowing the truth that she was a holy child of God. We teach the power of the spoken word as the creative energy through which we transform our lives. And each of us is that innate presence of the creative force of the universe living in this moment in a physical body. I am a magnificent manifestation of God. I invite you to claim that statement for yourself this morning with me. I am a magnificent manifestation of God. And when we begin to know this truth for ourselves so that we can live actively in this space of our holy wholeness, we may feel the call from the very depth of our soul saying, "This is mine to do with this life I have. I am here for a holy purpose." I invite you to speak that for yourself this morning. I am here for a holy purpose. And then tomorrow's Monday, folks. And maybe that gets rattled a little bit, that truth of our divine nature, by the stuff that goes on in the world and the stuff that's going on in our own life and that which is going on within our being. But when we anchor in these truths, a holy manifestation of God itself, called to life in this moment to be the presence of that energy of love, then nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. Touch your heart. This is kinesthetically telling your body, I mean what's coming next. Nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. Repeat with me. Nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul as I live, move, and have my being in the presence of God together. As I live, move, and have my being in the presence of God. And so it is. And you are surrounded by the presence of God this morning in all of its glorious forms. I invite us now to take a moment, stand if we're able, and greet one another with aloha this morning.
That you please remain standing as you are able, and let's say yes to God. Yes, God, yes, to your will and to your way. Oh, yes, God, yes, I will trust you and obey. When your spirit speaks to me, with my whole heart I'll agree, and my answer will be yes, God, yes. God, I give you all my thanks. God, yes, to your will and to your way. Oh, yes, God, yes, I will trust you and obey. When your spirit speaks to me, with my whole heart I'll agree, and my answer will be yes, God, yes. I say yes, God, yes, to your will and to your way. Oh, yes, God, yes, I will trust you and obey. When your spirit speaks to me, with my whole heart I'll agree, and my answer will be yes, God, yes. When your spirit speaks to me, with my whole heart I'll agree, and my answer will be yes. Oh, my answer will be yes. Oh, my answer will be yes. God, yes.
Let me see if I'm on. Yes, all right. Aloha, everyone. Welcome to Unity Church of Hawaii. I'm Reverend Johanna Kelly, the Associate Minister here, filling in for Reverend Tim while him and Olga Lucia are in Kansas, and we'll give you the good news of what that's all about in a little bit. But it's my pleasure to welcome you here today on this beautiful February morning. Now think about it. Chicago this past week had temperatures colder than Antarctica. Yeah, that's what I was saying. My mom called me crying. I tried to cry about the weather here, but I guess it was a bit more frigid there. So we are being blessed of February, and the sun is shining. It's 70, 80-something degrees, Super Bowl Sunday. And so let's just give thanks and praise to that we are nice and toasty here, and we send prayers to everybody out there that's facing harsher conditions than these. And so, but it does feel good to be here on these islands at this time. And also, I wanted to know if you saw any new faces while you were doing the hug fest and the hand fives and the handshakes. So if there's anybody who's new here, so here for the first time or here for the first time in a long time, please rise and stand so our ushers can meet and greet you and give you gifts of aloha. And we can provide a blessing to you as well. Yes. All right, friends, our ushers are bringing to you a kukui nut lei, which represents the light and love of these islands. You'll also be receiving a welcome pack with a free breakfast and information about this community and a free breakfast. After today's service, just go down to past Connection Central to the Courtyard Cafe to receive your free breakfast. And friends, this is our opportunity. If you see somebody with the kukui nut lei on, please tell them all about the love of this community and how it's transformed your life. So, and I invite you to just remain standing so that we may give you a blessing as well. Together, friends, let us say the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Yes. So, reminder, friends, just welcome our new friends to sit and eat with you and tell them about this wonderful community that you call your spiritual ohana. And I also want to say hello and ashakas to everyone that's streaming us right now, whether you're on our website, whether YouTube, or if you're watching on Olelo. Thank you for just joining us each and every Sunday and being part of this virtual ohana as well. And so what a blessing it is to have you join us, even whether you're in Germany, Kansas, DC, I believe the Philippines, and New Zealand. All around the world they're joining us, they're streaming in because they know that there is spiritual nourishment here. And so thank you for saying yes to Unity Church of Hawaii. All right. Today I will be joined on platform by the beautiful Reverend Margie Hyatt. And thank you, Reverend Margie Hyatt. And also for the daily word and meditation, it will be led by licensed Unity teacher candidate, beautiful Brian Toucheron. Yeah. So thank you for saying yes to today. And I mentioned earlier that this is the first Sunday in February, so there must be some February birthdays. So is there anybody who was born in the month of February? Please stand so we can sing you the song of love and happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Hallelujah.
Woo! All right. Okay, now I'm all shooken up and ready for Reverend Margie to tell us the good news.
Thank you, Reverend Johanna. Do you have your passport for Life in Unity this week? You can follow along with today's announcements. The first thing I want you to know about is we are calling those who are called to serve this community by participating as a member on our board of trustees. Your call is today. Every year, 3 of our board member positions come up for renewal. And if you are called to participate in this particular way in the governance of your community, then please go out to the table just outside the doorway here. There are some packets of information. Pick one up, and you can contact Thomas Gallagher if you have questions, and turn in the packet by this Friday to the church office, this coming Friday, February 8th, so that you begin the qualification process to be on the ballot at our annual meeting the first Sunday of March. So I invite you, as you sit here today, to percolate in the question of, is this my capacity to serve my community at this time? They are also soliciting for people to help count ballots for that election on the first Sunday of March. And so if you'd like to participate in the smooth flow of our annual meeting, please respond to that call. And we have a special class coming up starting Tuesday evening, Communicating with the Child. It'll be facilitated by our own Joanne Lewis West, who has a lifetime of experience in education, particularly with our keiki. Joanne was one of the original founders of our Unity Preschool 40 years ago, Joanne. How long has it been? So she hasn't, she hasn't been on the staff all that time since. Yes, please. So you can talk to Joanne if you have questions, and the location will be made known. And I also want to remind you that if you have not renewed your membership, now is the time. Down in Connection Central across the lawn today, they have the official membership list, and we need you to go down and verify that your name and your information, 1, that you're on that list, and 2, that your information is accurate, so that when we come to our annual meeting, we have an absolutely current, data-verified membership list so that we can appropriately run our annual meeting as according to our bylaws. So take care of that little detail. And if you haven't renewed, the deadline to do so has been extended to next Sunday, February 10th. So I think that's all I have to share with you today. Thank you for your presence in all the ways you show up and participate in our beloved community. Aloha.
Thank you, Reverend Margie. And I just want to make sure that you know that our online renewal has been extended through February 10th as well. So if you haven't noticed that your name is on our membership list and you're a member, you can also fill out the form online and submit it, and we'll put your name right on that list. And we also have our new members class. If you didn't get to attend the past 3 or previous 3 Sundays, it's available online. Do the homework. and speak to me, and we'll get you signed up as a member so you can be part of this Unity Ohana. And I also want to say aloha to Reverend Tim and Olga Lucia. They are in Kansas right now streaming, and Reverend Tim and Olga Lucia has welcomed in their first granddaughter, I believe. Yes, Elenial Grace. Elenial, there we go. All right. Elenial Grace, and then there's her big brother Sterling. So congratulations to the Lytles on the extension of their family. And now let us center in as we connect to that oneness that we are in prayer.
We are one, we are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. And in this unity, we will live in harmony, and peace will come, 'cause we are one.
As we take this time to just put concerns of yesterday to the side, and so they'll allow the mind to just drop into the heart space, closing the outer eye as we take this time to commune to that indwelling spirit, the Christos, the anointed one, the Christ within. We say, Father, Mother, God, Blessed Spirit, we know that this service today, the word, the message, the music, all of its members is anointed by your Holy Spirit, that it goes forth and touches people at their place of need. Allow every component of today to reach those ears that need to hear a good word, that need encouragement. We also call upon your blanketing protection as we continue on this ministry in this time of transition. We know that everything is working together for the greatest good of those here. And we know and trust in the process. And we give thanks that it has been blessed by your holy presence, that your holy presence surrounds each one of us as we go forward as a community. And we give thanks that it is done under grace in perfect ways. And so it is. Amen.
The daily word for today is harmony. And the affirmation for today is divine love, wisdom, and understanding brings harmony to my world. Let's state this affirmation of truth together. Divine love, wisdom, and understanding bring harmony to my world. The message continues. When I reflect on the various relationships in my life, what feelings come to mind and heart? Do I feel the joy of kinship with family members, of shared experiences and accomplishments with coworkers or within my community? What I bring to each relationship determines my experience and may even influence the experience of others. Even if there is friction or tension, I choose not to respond to any negative or insensitive comments. Instead, I view every relationship, every situation through the lens of my being, a living expression of God. I am a harmonizing presence. As I let God be, God in me, I affirm divine love, wisdom, and understanding bring harmony to my world. And from Scripture, What does the Lord require of you? But to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God. Now let us settle in to this ever-present moment where you may close your eyes or dim your gaze. Let us settle into the harmony of God's ever-present flow within our hearts, our very beings. Let us settle into the knowing that there is only one presence and one power, active in the universe and as our lives, God the good. Let us know, trust, affirm, and live the truth that there is this divine oneness, this divine bliss and perfection. Let us remember that within our breath, within our hearts, within the presence of God, we are and all is. Let us rest now in this moment, in this silence, and in this stillness. Now we are awakened into this realized knowing of God. We are awakened into this presence and power and substance and principle that we are as this one principle, as this one power, as this active, unfolding essence of love, joy, peace, and perfection. We know once again that there is this unstoppableness, this victorious oneness that shines forth ever presently, in, through, and as us. And we say thank you. And so it is. Thank you, God.
Beloved one who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Give
Aloha kakahiaka, everybody. Let's keep that energy going now, as James Brown used to say. Band, hit me one time. Good call. I 1, 2, 3, and put your hands together, people. Oh yeah. Get on up now. Huh. Don't drive a fancy Cadillac.
No, sir.
My Betsy gets me there and back.
Good old Betsy.
Don't DVR my MTV. New music don't appeal to me. I never worried about being cool, 'cause baby girl, I'm old school. If I can sing your melody, your song won't mean a thing, you see. If you don't look me in the eye, you might be telling me a lie. Yes, you will. All your friends, they ridicule, but baby girl, that's old school. Material things can't replace heart and soul and honest face. I can't forget the old school ways. Tried and true, still good today. Oh, for 40 years we've been content. I make her smile and I pay that rent, baby. Don't give her reason to doubt. When times get hard, we work it out. Yes, we do. She's my queen and I'm her fool. Oh, baby girl, that's old school.
Ain't that the truth?
Sing a song some more. Come on now. Everybody, let's go. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, you sound good. I'll take it to the bridge one time. Blood, sweat, and loyalty, solid like a redwood tree. From Honokaa to Timbuktu is all you ever need to do. Oh, forget about the latest trends. Be yourself and don't pretend.
Oh, that's right.
Get back to basics for a while and work on going the extra mile, baby. Respect and honor, that's the rule. Oh, baby girl, that's old school. Help me sing a song one time. Hey. I don't hear you, I don't believe you. Come on. Oh, yes, indeed. Lord have mercy, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, we ain't ready to go home. I need some guitar. I need some guitar. Come on now.
Come on, Kevin.
Hey, hey.
Light it up, Kevin.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Now, baby girl, that's old school. Give it up for the band. Give it up for the band.
Right, am I on? There we go. And let me put down my drink. Okay, thanks, Reverend Levitt. All right. Let's give another round of applause to our soloist, Danik, and for Zamar helping out, blessing us with their time and talents. And let's give yourselves a round of applause at this time. You showed up on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm sure it's about to begin soon, and some of you are probably wondering when this will already end, but I'll promise you I'll make it simple, short, and to the point. And for those that are visiting with us, I know we had several new people who are new to this community. What I want you to know first, before I even get started with the message, is that we are a community that is growing through some changes. Notice I didn't say going through some changes. We are growing through some changes. And that's what each one of us is being called to do, is that we are to grow together towards a common mission, the same mission here in this spiritual community. And so growing may not always feel pleasant. Anybody hear the term growing pains? Yeah, okay. And how many people have actually experienced growing pains? You shot up. Yeah. If you're tall, there's probably been a point in your life where there was this spurt of growth and the bones may have ached or something like that. But afterwards, like I had a good friend, he became a wonderful basketball player. So that growth was necessary. And because it happened so quickly, it was a bit painful to him. But in the end, it was to his benefit. And so growing doesn't necessarily have to be painful, but when it is, we know that it's happening quickly and it's to our benefit. So that's the good news. And there's some more good news as well. Today, my talk title was picked on purpose. So I was very careful when selecting what I wanted to speak about today. And as you see, I call it the elephant in the sanctuary. And so elephants in the sanctuary, we've heard of the term the elephant in the room. And that usually signifies a problem or an issue that nobody wishes to speak about. But we all know that it's there. And so when I called it the elephant in the sanctuary, I wanted us to start to look within, the sanctuary within first, because that is the most important place to look. If you want any substantial change in your life to occur and to be lasting, you have to first look within to see what's happening. And at times, it may not be pleasant, the elephants we find. But believe me, other people know your elephants. Did you know that? Other people know your elephants. And then you may ask, thank you, Reverend Levitt. I appreciate that. And then you may ask yourself, well, how do I find out what my elephants are? Well, by the fruits that the elephant produces. You will know exactly what it is your elephant is or elephants are by the fruits that they produce, by the way you have your movement and being and interaction with other people. They'll be your first indicators that something may be there that you may want to look at. And at times, they may not want to tell you. And maybe it's our culture or that we don't feel empowered enough to address these elephants. But at some point in time, we will need to address it. But like I said, the catch is, first it's an inside job. But that's the good news. That's your point of power. That means nothing outside of you, nothing and no one can be against you. There's nothing out there to say, oh, you make me feel this way or that. It's all within you. So that's our main focus here, to not change anything out there, but rather to look within to those things that are now in this moment begging, pleading for your attention. Its outward manifestation, whether in your own lives in this community, says, please look at me. Speak the words that I need in order to heal. Each one of us has the authority and the power to do that. But we first must begin with the inside job. And I know that each one of you is passionate. I see you show up Sunday service, willing to assist, Monday mornings, willing to assist. There's a lot of passion within this community. And at times, when the passion is not focused, when it is not headed in the way that the mission is headed, it can be quite destructive. But you'll know by the fruits that it produces what that passion is all about. Now, I'm going to tell a little bit of a story, true story of myself. Most of you know that I used to be in the Department of Defense, and I was an anti-terrorism officer. But I didn't disclose what type of leader I was when I was speaking about that. Now, this is a couple of years ago, and I've grown through that, and I've learned a lot. But it took somebody calling out my elephant in order to bring about that change. So, once upon a time, there was a princess that almost got her way. Now, had I gotten my way, things could have been quite disastrous. Hadn't somebody have spoken up and said, Miss Kelly, you're headed in the wrong direction and you're taking a lot of people along with you. Things could have turned out tragic at the time. And I didn't reveal this to the 9 a.m., but I'll let you know in a little bit how wonderfully well I grew into it. So I started out as an anti-terrorism officer in Germany, and I was in a male-dominated career field. There was no women at the time, and I think there's one or two now in the theater, but at the time I was the only female in a male career field. And these guys were special forces, special ops. I mean, they had gone through some stuff that I could never have imagined being in the Air Force. And they used to tease me quite regularly that I was this Air Force girl doing a grown man's job. And that made me want to be even better. So I made a promise to myself. I wanted, first of all, I heard there was an award, yearly award for Anti-Terrorism Officer of the Year. And when I started that job, I said, I'm going to have that. And the way that I'm going to get it is by doing the very best, outshining, out studying, out performing. And so I took to the cause to do that type of work, and sometimes not in the most productive of ways. Now, part of my responsibility as an anti-terrorism officer is that I would have to go to communities and put them under drills or exercises. And so I was a specialist in emergency management and anti-terrorism. And I had to test their policies and procedures and see if they were capable of what their vulnerabilities were and if they were capable of withstanding attacks. Now, there was this particular community that I was not fond of. So I already had some type of notion that I really wanted to test them. And so I had some bias against them. And so normally in the span of a year, you go through one type of exercise. I was going to be putting them through 5 different exercises all at once. So I was really wanting to reach the threshold. Now, there was no law that said I couldn't. There was nothing that said that I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And because they seemed like they were lax and they didn't care about security, because remember, my passion was security, my passion was safety, and theirs didn't match with mine. They seemed to be quite lax in every single procedure that I found. So I just wanted to inundate them with scenario after scenario to see how they would respond. So I got together a beautiful team of individuals. So my first 3 months on the job was spent really cultivating this team. I had the state parliament there, the SEK, I can't even pronounce it, but these were the commandos. I mean, these were burly. You can't even take a picture of them. They have to hide their face, cover their face. They're the ones that escort dignitaries that go into hostage situations, any type of VIPs that come into the area, they provide. It's almost like the Secret Service and Special Forces together for Germany. The Deutsche Rotkreuz, that's the German equivalent of American Red Cross. And then the Bundeswehr is the German military. And then we had the German fire departments in the area as well, working alongside of the Department of Defense the schools. I mean, this thing was going to be huge. And the more that I met with these individuals, we had a weekly meeting every single Thursday. I wanted helicopters. I wanted video cameras here. I was even training because I wanted to blow off explosives, and not ones that have any type of shrapnel, but percussion bombs inside buildings. I wanted to do rescues. It was kind of, I was putting people's safety in jeopardy at that point. And this team knew it, and they actively fought against me. And the team started to wither away to where by month 3, I had no buy-in, basically. Now, one Thursday, my boss, well, kind of my boss, the operations director, had to fill in for me and facilitate. That Friday, he called me into his office. He had me sit down. He said, "Miss Kelly, how do you feel your exercise planning is going so far?" And I said, and I knew something was wrong. There's nobody showing up anymore. Or if they were showing up, I used to have commanders in this, the honchos, and now they're sending people who drew the shortest straw. And I knew something was wrong, but I didn't want to admit it. I said, well, you know what? I think I'm just dealing with a bunch of lazy people. They don't want to help me out. I really want to show this community what real protection looks like. And he said to me, "Miss Kelly, there is an elephant in the room." And I said, "Elephant?" He says, "You." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "You know, the reason why people aren't showing up and giving you your support is because of the way you're treating them and the demands." And he said, they even have a little bit of a saying, because I was wondering, why didn't anybody say anything to me? Why didn't somebody speak out and tell me these things? I want to be a good leader. I wanted to have this team but nobody said anything for 3 months. And then he finally said, well, the running joke is that you remind them of the female version of Idi Amin, which is... And at the time, I did not know who this individual was. So I went away from that meeting, playing the blame game. It was everybody out there and not me. I could not see the damage that I was causing with this team. And this is millions of dollars going into this. And people were donating everything. And yet I was pushing and wanting more for my people and just wearing them out. So I went home that Friday evening, Googled who this was, then I watched the movie, The Last King of Scotland, I believe it was, and I was appalled. I was embarrassed. I could not believe that the team that I was in thought of me that way. It was embarrassing. And so I had to give myself, that coming to Jesus moment. So much was riding on this. And what was my mission? I had to really start being honest with myself. First of all, was I even on point with my mission? My mission ultimately was to protect people, was to be of service to individuals and to make sure they knew whether or not they had vulnerabilities. I had thrown so much at them, the whole thing was falling apart. So I had to look at what my mission was. My mission was people. And I was being very mean about trying to protect people. And then I had to realize that I was part of a team. There was no more I, there was a we. I started to recall the meetings where nobody could say anything, where I was demanding resources and personnel and not listening to ideas to help facilitate cooperation. No wonder people had left this. It was all about me in the end. I turned this we into me. And there's a saying, I never could do anything better than the we could. So I doesn't do anything better than we could do. So we always does this, whatever it is, better. But we have to be on the same page. We have to be working towards the same mission. They knew what they wanted to do. They knew what the mission was, and I had just developed my own mission. Oh, yeah, that's right. I made a promise to myself I wanted to be Anti-Terrorism Officer of the Year. This was definitely in line with that. I was going to have this big, huge, whatever. I knew this. I knew every regulation. And in the end, everything was going to fail because it was all about me. It was all about this I that wanted attention, that wanted to say that they did something during their tenure there. And really, the whole thing was going to fall apart. And it was by the fruits. I started to look. Oh, no wonder so-and-so left and this and that. Nobody returns my calls. And nobody is cooperating at this point. My fruits, I thought I was an orange tree, but I was producing apples. That means I'm an apple tree. So I had to be honest about this. And then I started going into this oneness concept. And this is right in alignment with unity principle. Let me try to, and there's scripture right there, Matthew 7:16, about that's the fruits. Will always tell you what's happening in a situation. So, unity principles, or principle, first of all, let's define this. What is a principle? Well, these are the things that ideals and truths for our lives that we are unwilling to compromise. That means no matter what scenario is going on, I am unwilling to move from this position. This is my guiding truth. This is the words and the ideals that I live by. What are some of the principles in your own life that you are living by? Boom. There you go, Brian. God loves truth. And that's what this community is about. Centered in God. And showing up in love. We have to start asking ourselves, are we on our mission? Now, how many of you think our mission here is centered in God? We elevate global consciousness through the realization of oneness. By a show of hands. We hear it every Sunday, and that sounds about good. I like that, but that's our vision. Johanna, do you have this is our mission. Unity Church of Hawaii fosters personal transformation, creative relationship, and compassionate sacred service. There you go, sacred service. This is the mission of this community. We foster personal transformation. We create a safe space for you to grow. Creative relationships. We co-create together this vision that we have for this community. And we provide compassionate, sacred service. We show up in love. We show up as the Christ itself. Today, I want you to look within and see if there's any elephants. Like I said, other people see them. Are there any elephants that wish to be healed? And by the fruits, you'll know what they are. And are you on point? Are you on the mission? Where, if you're showing up to do sacred service in any community, do you know what their mission is? Do your principles, your inner principles, these things that you will not compromise, align with that mission? And lastly, for this spiritual community, we are here for God and for God only. We are here for God and for God only. And this is what the mission does. This is how we will be successful when we show up in this selfless service for this community, for ourselves, and ultimately for this world. I just want to thank each and every one of you for considering your personal principles, considering the principles of this community, the God is, the I am, the think it, the pray it, the do it, the be it. And check in every once in a while. Are you supporting this mission in ways that are in alignment with the principles? Blessings and mahalo.
like yesterday, but it was long ago. Jeannie was lovely, she was the queen of my dreams. There in the darkness with the radio playing low, and the secrets that we shared, mountains that we moved, caught like a wildfire out of control, till there was nothing left to burn and nothing left to lose. And I remember what she said to me, how she swore that it would never end. I remember how she held me tight. Wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then. Against the wind, we were running against the wind. We were young and strong and still running against the wind. You know this song, you can sing along with me all. Now the years rolled slowly past, and I found myself alone, surrounded by strangers I thought were my friends. Found myself further and further from my home, and I guess I lost my way. There were oh so many roads. I was living to run and running to live, never worried about paying how much I owe. Moving 8 miles a minute for months at a time, breaking all the rules that would bend. I began to find myself searching for shelter again and again. Against the wind, little something against the wind. I find myself seeking shelter against the wind. Your musical director, Mr. Dan Del Negro. So much more to think about. Deadlines and commitments, what to leave in, what to leave out. Against the wind, I'm still running against the wind. Well, I'm older now and still running against the wind. Sing along now. Against the wind. Sing it now. Against the wind. You know it. Against the wind. Still running. Against the wind. I'm still running against the wind. Against the wind. I'm still running. Against the wind. Still running against the wind now. Running against the wind, running against the wind. Let the cowboys ride. Oh, let the cowboy ride now. Against the wind. Ooh, yeah. Against the wind. Running against the wind. everybody. Have a good day.
Mahalo, Zanuck Lindsay, Zamar, and our own Unity Band. So good to have Zanuck home. I would call the ushers forward, but look at that. They know their marks. Thank you, team, for showing up. Thank you, all of you, for showing up. For when we show up with our energy, with our tangible gifts, with our holding space for the wholeness of this community, we answer the call of that mission to transform lives, beginning with our own. I know many of you have an incredible transformational life story because you are part of this community, or you found unity somewhere else, and it changed your life. So that's what we commit to when we give to this community. We commit to the transformation, continuing in our own life, and we say, I want this for everybody who comes through the door to have this experience. So thank you for committing to the life and breath of this community in all the ways that you do. So I invite you to take your gift, place it on your heart, or hold it in your hands as we speak this blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all I am and have, all that I give and receive. Thank you, God. And so it is.
Disappear. Power of the word, but there's nothing to fear. Something very good, something good is going on around here. This is a church on fire. This is a Holy Spirit place. We have a burning desire to live in God's holy name. Let the fire burn in every heart. The light, the waging, beat the dark. Let the flame of love burn higher. This is a church on fire. The Spirit is here and the power is real. Anything can happen and it probably will. Something very good, something good is going on around here.
There's a light that shines and make the dark disappear. Power of the word, but there's nothing to fear. Something very good, something good is going on around here. This is a church on fire. This is a Holy Spirit place. We have a burning desire to live in God's holy name. Let the fire burn in every heart. To light the way, defeat the dark. Let the flame of love burn higher. This is a church on fire.
I'll invite up the ushers. And I just wanted to let you know, I changed my mind oh no, I don't change my mind. But I meant in my sermon, I actually decided that I was going to become a better leader. It was successful exercise, and I'm still friends with all of the wonderful people there too. So that is one thing. Because I changed, everything else changed. So it begins and ends with me. So take away. All right. And as we just receive these gifts, knowing that they were given with the spirit of love, with the spirit of aloha, knowing that it goes on to support this community's mission, ways seen and unseen, known and unknown, and that it comes back in our own lives, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. It is blessed, it is blessed, it is blessed. Thank you, God. And so it is. All right. Thank you, everyone. I want to just have a special thanks to everyone who came in service today, from Levitt and Diana, from Danny and the band, and our sound technician, Todd, and we have Sean in the cave, and of course, Margie and Brian, Zamar, everyone in the kitchen. Mahalo for your selfless service to this community. It is felt and it is appreciated. And also, I want to invite any chaplains that we have up to the front. Now, our wonderful chaplains, if you have something on your heart, a prayer, whatever that is needed, a prayer of encouragement, these individuals will take that with you into prayer and lift it into the consciousness of the Most High with you. So whatever's on your heart, please come see our prayer chaplains afterwards as they are willing and waiting to hold the high watch with each one of you. And I now invite everyone to rise, to stand as we sing aloha, or peace song and aloha oi.